Welcome back to today's episode, not mystery box related, Grown Kids TV with myself, Mike, and Lindsay. If you saw in a previous episode, these are all fake pops.
So the point of this video is not to show you how to avoid these 4 pops in particular, but to show you the process that we go through to avoid being scammed.
One of these is real, one of these is fake. In this video, we're going to teach you guys how to tell the difference between these side by side. But you're not going to always have the pops side by side. So we're also going to tell you how to just look at the box, a quick look at eBay, and determine if it's automatically fake or a good chance it might be real. Coming up. Alright, before we get started we're at the end of the video right now, and we decided to go back to the beginning, and because this is turning into a long video.
It is.
So we're going to break up into 2 parts. This whole video is going to be comparing them side by side and comparing a fake versus a real one on eBay, and kind of the idea of how to tell it's a fake if you're just buying them on eBay. Little tiny differences. In the next video, we're going to go on eBay with screen recordings and screenshots and show how we just go through looking at either the seller, what their sales are, what their past sales are, what other things they have for sale, and then finding out how we would, if we wanted to buy a pop and we thought it might be fake, how we would search other real pops, other fake pops, and make sure they're right.
Yep.
So that is one thing we're going to do. We're going to split this into 2 videos. I'm sorry if we keep talking about how it's all going to be in one video, but we didn't realize how long this was going to be. We haven't even got to the eBay stuff, and we already have too much for one video.
Yep.
All right, let's just dive into this. One thing, there's a lot of traffic outside. We're sorry about that. We're trying to cut it down, but there's nothing we can really do. Secondly, I did just take off my hoodie because it's a lot hotter in here than I thought because it's finally spring.
Yep.
But let's talk about the ground rules for these fake pops and the ideas and thoughts that we're going to go through on this episode.
Rule number 1, and we cannot stress this enough, you can always return a pop if it is fake on eBay and Mercari if they advertise it as a real pop. It doesn't matter if they don't accept returns or they say they don't. That's not eBay's policy.
And we are going to talk about that multiple times. That's rule number 1.
Yep.
You can always return it. If you buy this and you get it and you're like, that's fake, and you look at their site and it says, no, I don't allow returns, and they write it in the description, I don't allow returns, anything like that, it doesn't matter. They sold you something, they lied about its authenticity, that's not as described, and you can return it.
Yep.
So if you pick something up and you realize that even if you've already left positive feedback on eBay, then you can still say, wait, this isn't as described. Mercari, you need to do a thorough inspection before you do your positive feedback, because that's the binding deal. If you say 5 stars, awesome, and then you hit submit, and then later you're like, oh, this is a fake pop, it's too late. You have to do that before you leave a rating on Mercari. So make sure you know what you're doing before you leave your rating on Mercari. All right, another rule for this video. As we go through, we're going to point out a bunch of things that are pretty much automatic fakes. Right? If you see this, it's an automatic fake. We're going to put up 2 pictures here of the correct movies font and the incorrect movies font. And you can see on the incorrect, the fake one, if the middle part of the M comes all the way down to the same level as the other 2 legs on the M, that's an automatic fake. However, the opposite is not true. If it has a good M, that doesn't necessarily mean it's an automatic real. And that's going to be a lot of things in here, because the fake pops are going to evolve. So first, we did buy all those pops knowing they were fake.
Yeah.
And we did that with the intent of showing everybody, here's some easy ways to tell, not just in those 4 pops, but if you look at those pops and you look online, you can start to trend what things they mess up when they're making fake pops. And you can apply that to other fake pops that are out there or other pops that you have questions about, and then you can solve these for yourself. So first we have these 2 here, and don't worry, we're going to put up close-ups while we talk about these. But we had a real Rex, and on the website there was this fake Rex. The site is AliExpress or Alibaba, and what it is you can buy just wholesale of these. So you can order this T-Rex like 1,000 at a time.
Yeah.
We wanted to get this one specifically, just said, because we had the reel at home. So we're going to do some side-by-side comparisons, and we understand that when you're at home ordering on eBay, you're not going to have a side-by-side comparison because why would you be ordering it?
Yeah.
But these types of things are things that you can look at, and you'll learn how to look at this right away, and I'll just give away one of the hints right now. The mouth of Rex is open. If you see that, it's a fake. Don't buy it. That's an easy one. Now we're going to talk about these side-by-side differences to just kind of see how we came up with some of these things that we can see that are fake. Okay, so we're going to put the fake one on the left, the real one on the right, and I'll just leave fake and real kind of sitting on top of the screen the whole time. That way, if at any point you fast forward or look at a different part of the video, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. So first thing that we can see is fairly obvious when we're side by side, and that's the physical size difference of these boxes. And we'll do a lay down view right here. The physical size, the fake one is a smaller box. And when you pick them up, Lindsay, what do you realize?
The real one is definitely heavier than the fake one.
Very heavy. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start on the front of this box, and we're gonna talk about differences. Remember, not every single thing is 100% a disclaimer that it's real, and most things you can disclaim that it's fake, but there's a couple of things that are tricky. For example, on the very front and the bottom, it says age 15 plus. We notice that's different than our age 3 plus. And we thought, oh, that's a pretty simple one to get. However, there is a version of Rex that is from Pop Life that I think is legit with an age 15 plus. So there are different years and different release dates of these Funkos that could have small differences in that. But then there's some ones that are always fake. For example, the mouth that we see open here. All right, Lindsay, what's another thing on the front that we see?
The fake is a lot darker. Now, this is something that you probably won't be able to tell because you won't have it side by side. Also, through pictures, everybody's lighting is different, so that might be a hard one to tell. But you can see, like, Rex himself, he's so much darker. The ring around the number, everything on the front of this box is darker print.
One thing that a lot of people look at is the border around the face. And some people have a rule that if it has a thick border, it's automatically a fake, and if it has a thin border, it's automatically a real. And just like what we said, nothing automatically makes it real. This one has a pretty good thin border. It's about the exact same size. And even around the Pop logo on the fake, it's a consistent thickness. And that's one thing that we see a lot with the fakes is it's not consistent thickness. It gets thinner to one side. Now that one is a little bit thicker than the real one. However, it's a pretty good thin border, and if you weren't looking at them side by side, you might not notice. So a thin border doesn't necessarily mean 100% real. One thing we do notice, though, is the cut around the T-Rex face. It's a very sharp angle on the real one, and it's more rounded on the fake one. All right, one thing that we'll notice when we look at other ones is the font on the R for Rex. All the Funkos that we've seen have a little tail type thing at the bottom of I would say the right leg of the R, the second leg of the R. It has a little bit of a nice little tail that comes out here, and that's easy to see on the side as well. And on the side, we'll flip to the right side now. On that side, you can definitely see the difference in the font and how it doesn't have that little R, that little tail on the R. And the same thing with paying attention to small font differences. Sometimes the font differences are hard to see, but this one is very easy as well. If you look at the 7 on the fake, it's a straight 2 lines connected. As with a 7 on the real, and that's what we see usually with Funkos, is the top half is a straight line, and then the bottom part of the 7 is a curve. And that's another easy giveaway. Also, side by side here, you can definitely see the difference between the Rex dark on the left fake and Rex light on the right. Also, what you can see here is, since the box is smaller and is cut slightly differently, the Pop logo is very close to the top on the fake and a little more space on the top on the real. However, again, that's only going to be if you have them side by side. Okay, now we flip it over to the back. And Lindsay, what do you see here?
Again, the fake is darker. However, one of the things that we did notice is that if you look down at the bottom at the Disney Pixar copyright, the D on the fake one is taller and skinnier than the D in Disney on the real one.
So I flipped to the last side, the one without the window on it, and obviously dark is one thing and size of the boxes. But another thing that we saw is the 7 has the correct curve on the fake here. So it is different from side to side. That inconsistency is one of the great things to look forward to, or look for in the fake pops. So we get to the bottom, and the bottom is where we can find most of the things that are wrong immediately. Lindsay, what'd you catch?
Right off the bat, there's no date code. There's no sticker. There's no printed on date code. There's no like embossed date code.
And that's a big one. And those, the JKL sticker and stuff like that, usually you can tell based on their types of font. Now this one's harder to tell if it's not side by side, but side by side you can see the Made in China on the fake is much bolder and just doesn't look right as compared to the real. And then here's one that we use all the time to find discrepancies in. What is that?
The barcode. The numbers in the barcode on the fake one are slightly different than the one on the real one. And we'll do close-up pictures. So the 4s. On the fake one, it's a closed top. And on the real one, it's an open top. But the 3 is the biggest giveaway. The fake one is a completely rounded 3. And the real one has a flat top.
So one thing you can see here is the 3 definitely looks really wonky, and the 0 in the barcode on the fake. Now, not all Funko barcodes have sharp top 3s, but if you take the real one of what you're looking at on eBay, and we'll talk about how to do this later, and then you find a fake, see if the barcodes look the same. So we have the 8s we skipped over, but the 8s on the fake are pretty much symmetrical top to bottom with the same size top, same size bottom. And it looks like on the real one, it's slightly smaller on top than the bottom. And then the 7 has the Funko lean, the Funko curve, if you will, for the 7. All right, so sometimes the bottoms will be slightly different based on what company it was. So in this case, we are comparing Pop Life to Mind Style. And that's something you'll see often with like the Kobe Bryants and everything. There'll be slight differences, but there are ways to tell. So we're gonna put a picture up here of a real Pop Life, the bottom, to see the same types of things. And one of the easy giveaways is there's no space after Pop Life. Another one is after Town, there's no space, just goes Town, comma, DONG, GUAN. So that's another giveaway. And the commas and spaces are actually a pretty good giveaway on a number of fakes. So you can use that across the board. All right, so we got the pop side by side here. And first thing that we noticed, besides the mouth being open that we already talked about, and kind of like lopsidedness of his head, is what's with the eyes, Lindsay?
The real ones are glossy and the fake ones are not.
All right, and then his hands?
His hands are touching in the real one and they're not on the fake one.
And a big giveaway
is the underbelly. On the real one, it kind of looks like it's spray painted on. It fades a little bit. And on the fake one, it is a solid line between the belly color and the green.
Exactly right. Another thing we noticed that would be hard to tell, like unless it's side by side, is the toenails or the claws or whatever are very dark on the fake and almost the same color and glossier on the real one. And you can just feel the difference. Like, it's so much better build quality on the real one, obviously. So then we go to the bottom of the feet. And for this one here, this one's pretty obvious. It does not have the FAC code. And however, there's a lot of fakes that do have the codes that are put on in different spots that do have the stamps that look very legit. So you can't always rely on that. But this one, if it doesn't have it, obviously a fake. If it does have it, it doesn't necessarily mean it's 100% authentic. Since this one is the only one we have a good copy and a fake copy of, we even checked out the inserts. And the inserts do tell us something as well. It's pretty close. However, the real one has a defined foot spot that's in the shape of his foot, as where the fake one just has a kind of half circle type thing. Another thing is the fake one has 171 written into the insert, and the real one does not. But the real one does have 6879 written into the insert. So we don't know much about the inserts. There's not many times that we take them out of box. In terms of buying pops that are out of box, it's very rare that we'll buy one out of box that costs a good amount of money because we don't know too many things to look at. As of right now, it's easy to compare them, but with a lot of grails, people don't usually sell them out of box, so it's not as easy to go on eBay and find a couple that are out of box in order to do those comparisons. All right, so we bought Rex because we had the real one and it was a very easy way to showcase both of those side by side. The next three we bought because they're Funkos that we actually want. We figured if we're gonna buy fakes, we might as well buy ones that we want. So I have in my hand Freddy Funko Statue of Liberty. And as soon as you pick this up, you say, this is a fake box. 100% no, this is a bad fake. Now there's all sorts of ranges of fakes. This is a bad fake. And I'll just take it out and show you how horrible this looks. So this is dirty and grimy, and all the horns are just kind of, you know, the crown is just all real bad. And this is just not a great pop. It feels very rubbery. The bottom does have a stamp there. So that's what I said. You can't just see that and be like, hey, it's automatically real. What we're going to do is we're going to go over to eBay. We're going to pull up a good listing of this, a real Funko Pop. And we're going to point out the differences with this fake that we have in hand. And remember, if you buy this and it gets sent to you, because sometimes the sellers will use real pics. So if you're looking at the real pics and you're like, that's 100% a real pop, and then they send you this fake, what can you do?
Return it.
Return it. It's not as described. It's not the same as in the pictures. If they're selling you a real Funko Pop and they send a fake one, automatic, free return, you get to send it back. Another thing, be careful about the word custom. A lot of people in the community know that, but custom effectively means fake. Now we love customs when it means, hey, this is a pop that I took, I painted it, I made it custom, I made it metallic, whatever the thing is, you put your own flair into it. We have a galaxy print Dumbo that's really pretty. Stuff like that, that's a good custom. You took it and you customized it. Custom should never be the name of just a fake pop that you bought that you're trying to resell as real. Alright, so let's start off with the obvious. We always like to start with the front. Funko itself. If you look at the fake one versus the real picture that we have from an eBay listing, you can see right away the Funko font is wrong. And sometimes this is what we'll do. We will pull up two pictures, and we'll show you this later. So we'll pull up two pictures on eBay, we'll find a real one, and we'll find a fake one, and we'll determine that using what prices things have sold for and obvious fake type things in order to find differences like this. The pop fade is bad, and that's always a pretty good one to kind of point it out, but sometimes it is hard to tell that on eBay with different lightings.
And like we said with Rex, this one does have a pretty decent border. It's not super obviously thick around the Statue of Liberty, but our number one giveaway was the Fall Convention sticker.
Again, this is one you're going to have to look at side by side. Pull up two listings on eBay, the one you want to buy, and then one that's sold recently for a good amount of money that comes from a trusted seller. And you'll see the 6,000 pieces is a different font, as well as looking at the blurry image of the little Statue of Liberty on the Fall Convention sticker, as the real one is not a blurry image.
And like we said before, sometimes people will be like, hey, the sticker's see-through, that's real. The sticker is see-through on this, so that is not always 100% the case.
Yeah, remember, the fakes are getting better in certain ways, but there's still ways to find out if they're fake. Alright, so we look at the side here with the window, and you can see Freddy Funko down the side. Notice how the R in Freddy is not the Funko R that we talked about with the little tail. Alright, so on the fake, if you flip over to the back, we can see another space after a comma problem. The fakes, for some reason, they don't put spaces after the commas. And right by Pop is a trademark of Funko, LLC. There's no space. On the real one, there is a space. So that's an easy one. If you're just buying this and you want to look for this pop, you go there, and if there's no space, you just cross it off as a fake. So we go to the bottom. That in this case looks a little too glossy for real. But again, if somebody has their flash on while they're taking pictures of a real pop, it might show up to look like that glossy. So then we have to look at other things like the obvious, there's no sticker. Now what I love about con pops and shared exclusives is a 2017 will most likely have a 2017 production date. The only time this isn't the case is with like the spring one, because it's early on. Some of the spring ones are made the year before. So you have to have a matching or close to matching year for the sticker. In this case, it doesn't have a sticker, so we don't have to worry about that. But we looked at our barcode and we found, hey, there's that 3. On the real one, you can see the 3 has a flat top with the sharp angles at the top. And on the fake one, the 3 is a rounded 3. However, it does look like the fake one has gotten better 8s on this one than our other pop. So that's our Freddy Funko Statue of Liberty. Now let's move on to our favorite fake pop that we got. Lotso!
We love Lotso.
We love Lotso. We've been thinking about buying them for a while. one of the Smy/Spastics, I forget who, has a Lotso or had a Lotso, and I think they rated it like 6.5 and it had front damage. And we don't mind some damage on them depending on the price, but front damage, that's the display side for us, so we didn't want to get that one. But we are still thinking about it, but we were really scared to go on eBay and buy them because there's so many fakes, and we're going to talk about that later. But this one, at a quick glance, this looks okay. You know, you take a quick glance at this, you're like, oh, Lotso, and someone will pay $200 to $300 for this fake pop. And then it shows up and you get it in hand, you're like, wow, this is a dark box. It's a flimsy box. It's not as flimsy as New York Liberty one, but this one is a pretty flimsy box. And what do you do when you get this in your hand? You say, oh, this is a fake.
Return.
Return it. You open an item not as a scribe case, and they have to pay for shipping, and it goes back to them. So again, this border is a pretty good thickness. It's thin. However, the consistency of the thickness is not right. We'll have a picture up here of a real one, and you can see at the top of his ear, it's very thin, and as it gets towards the bottom, it gets thicker. It's never like obviously thick as in fake, but the inconsistency is a good hint that it's fake. So you flip it over to the side, and this is the giveaway. When you're buying these online and you have an eBay page open, you don't even need to look at another page. You just look at the side, you see how thin Lotso is, how spaced apart it is, and you see how awkwardly spaced apart 13 is, and you just say, that's a fake, moving on to the next pop.
Yep.
All right, so we're taking a look at this at the bottom. Remember, the bottom is a huge giveaway. Now, not having a sticker doesn't necessarily mean it's fake. We had a 24-piece Huckleberry with no sticker on the bottom. It doesn't necessarily mean it's fake. That was a real pop. This one doesn't have a sticker, but it is a big red flag. Another thing you can take a look at, and this is one of those, it's wrong, you know it's a fake, is there's a comma after WA for Washington. So it goes Linwood, comma, WA, and then a comma. I don't know what it is about the fakes, but they have a hard concept error with commas.
Yep.
So they put a comma there, that you can just tell it's a fake. Also, what about the font here with the made in China, Lindsay?
There's a thicker font under the made in China, so the different languages are thicker font than normal. That's hard to tell unless they're side by side.
Exactly right. So if I'm looking at this on a sale on eBay, all I gotta do is look at the side, the spaced out Lotso, spaced out 13, and then I look at the bottom and I see the comma after Washington, I know it's fake. However, taking it out, you get some pretty good hints that this is a fake. Obviously, you can't do this on eBay. And another thing is, you can ask the seller for pictures of the bottom. However, we sell on eBay, and a lot of times we won't do that because people want that for like, you know, a $600 pop. They want us to take a look at the bottom or take it out and take pictures of it. And we may open the bottom to get a picture of the feet, but we're not going to take it out because we'll probably damage it by accident. Just like right now, I pulled this out and bent part of it. But first thing we notice,
it's not a bobblehead.
It says vinyl bobblehead, but this doesn't have the Toy Story base and bobblehead.
Yep.
It's just a vinyl figure, which is probably not vinyl. I look at the bottom and a couple good giveaways. One, there's no like foot stamp.
Correct. Also, another big giveaway is normally there's a little indent on the foot, on the bottom of the foot, where they put the stamp and the Funko LLC. That's not on here. It's just completely flat feet.
So that is a good giveaway. Completely flat feet. If you see this, because a lot of times people will sell the Lotso by itself. So take a look at the feet. It should have a stamp. There should be like a little raised portion around the edge so it's not just completely flat. And then a weird, obvious giveaway.
It says HBO versus Disney Pixar.
And I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know if maybe there were some ever that were HBO, but I don't see why there would be.
Yeah, Toy Story isn't HBO. Like, I don't know. That seems weird.
Now, again, there may be some things here and there that we see that was a real thing.
Yeah.
Or, you know, for example, the Ghost Rider has Warner Brothers on the bottom. Some of the other Ghost Rider pops do have Warner Brothers on the bottom. But the metallic one never has Warner Brothers on the bottom. It always has the Marvel symbol. And that's a good way to tell that. But it doesn't mean that every Ghost Rider out there with Warner Brothers is fake.
True.
I like how I can make them look like Frankenstein.
We should keep them in the background.
Yeah, I just want to write like an F on them or something. We got the Mars Attack Martian fake. We've had the Mars Attack Metallic. It was one of the first grills we ever pulled. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, what an amazing Funko. This is a good fake.
It really is. We were very impressed by the quality of the box on this pop.
It's not that flimsy. It feels like a real Funko Pop. It feels like a good Funko Pop box. We look at the bottom. It's got a JKL sticker on the bottom. We look at the side. It spells Martian good with a nice little tail on the R. It's got good spacing on the 01. It's got good details on the side, and without looking at these side by side, you can't really tell the coloring issue. Another thing is this has a good amount of gloss. Like, it's not overly glossy. It's not bad. The borders look all right for thickness wise. This is a good fake. But there are some tells. There's always some tells with these fakes.
So let's start on the front. Something that we noticed was the border underneath the Pop logo and the border down by the bottom of his head. It thins out.
Yeah, inconsistent thicknesses. That's always a good giveaway.
Yes. Another thing we noticed on the front, the C in Sci-Fi is slightly different than on the real box.
And you'd really have to take a look at that to get a good picture of it, because it is hard. It is hard to see that. And the Pop logo is really good. Like, it's a good fade. Everything looks good. The only giveaway is a slight font difference in Sci-Fi and that thinning edge border. So I took a look at this bottom, and it's got a JKL sticker. It's a pretty plain bottom, but that's how the real one is.
Yep.
As you can see right here. Now, one thing is, if you're looking at the JKL sticker, for me, it looks a little spaced out in the 1-1, 1-2, 1-0, and the letters look slightly like shorter than the real one, but that's really hard to tell on eBay.
It's a pretty good sticker. It's not super wonky.
Yeah, some of them are really wonky and you know right away.
Yeah. The biggest giveaway on this box is above Funko, it says manufactured by, and it's spelled wrong. They're missing the E in manufactured.
That's an easy one.
The biggest giveaway, Funko isn't going to spell manufactured wrong.
Maybe.
Most likely.
But with such a great box overall, that's a really good giveaway. Another good giveaway specifically with this pop is the Made in China, the capital I in for Made in China. Now, some Funkos do have a capital I, some Funkos have lowercase I, but all the Mars Attacks ones we saw, the regular 01, Mars Attacks, Martian, every single one that was real, we saw with a lowercase I there. We took the figure out, we looked at it. It looks pretty good. We don't have another one. No one was selling one that we could verify was a real one. We didn't have another one in hand to take a look at it, but it looks good. It felt good. It's a pretty cool pop. I really like this. Even as a fake, I really like this.
Yeah.
But it is a fake, and that dead giveaway of the E in manufactured. You got to find those little differences.
Yeah, sometimes that's all it is the tiniest difference. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days!
All right, now it's the real end of the video. Remember, later we do have the how to buy on eBay coming up. This is kind of just a two-part video. It's just too long, but there's so much good information in here for fakes versus reals and really being able to tell on a number of pops, not just the 4 that we had, but being able to use these types of clues to look for real and fake listings so you guys don't get scammed. Because as you'll see in the next video, you'll just go and you'll see, for example, we have the Glow Chase Elvis. And people are paying hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for obviously fake Elvises.
Yep.
We're just trying to save those people. Lotso. I love this, even though it's
so
fake.
Cute.
Even though it's fake. But people are paying hundreds of dollars for this fake one when all you have to do is turn the box on the side and notice the 1 and 3 are super far spaced apart, or there's a comma after Washington. I think that's the Lotso one.
I think so. I can't remember.
But please don't be spending hundreds of dollars on these pops if they're fake without checking in with this video. Secondly, if you do buy a fake, what do?
Return it.
Return it. It doesn't matter what the seller says. If I was selling fakes, I would also just tell everybody, hey, no returns. I don't accept returns, blah, 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 blah. Which a lot of good eBay sellers do that.
Yeah.
But you can always, if they claimed it was a real pop, and by claimed it's real, it means they didn't say, hey, this is fake, this is custom. You can always return it and probably even if it does say it's custom, you can probably return it anyway. But you open an item not as a scribed case, and the seller has to pay for shipping. And sometimes they'll just say, hey, here's the money back, because they know they're selling fake pops.
Yeah.
Sorry that was super long. We see so many people getting scammed all the time, and don't even get us started on autographed pops.
Yeah.
We're trying to make sure that you guys have some type of info to arm yourselves against scammers.
Yep.
That's what we want you to do. And that's another thing. Last little tidbit of information, always your description.
Yes.
With everything you buy on eBay. Mm-hmm. All right, sorry for dragging this all out. There's just so much information and so much to cover. And if you guys have questions, put them in the comments and we'll try to get to them. Maybe we'll even make another video. We can keep like a whole series or something about different fake pops that we found or ways to not get scammed, because that's what it's all about on eBay and Mercari.
Yep. So thank you guys for watching. This is Grown Kids TV.
We'll see you later.